We're very thankful and grateful for um, not only each other, but also our customers, our clients, our family,
Yes, indeed.
everyone.
And we want to
It's
tell you
just,
we back. We are back. Yeah,
yeah,
we
we
took
been gone. We got a
we
little
took a couple of weeks
hiatus.
off a little bit.
We're back.
We had to put some of our Full Circle Friday episodes out a little bit because the summer hit, a lot of things were going on. We were extremely busy doing things. We had to take a few trips
Yeah. Had a few
and
losses in our family that we're
yeah.
dealing with even today.
Mhm.
So uh, shout out to all of my fam out there. We love you. I love you.
I love you.
Know that I may not be able to be present physically, but I am always there spiritually, emotionally.
Yes, indeed. And as we continue to grow with this platform and uh, there's the camera again.
What is that? What's that
I
about?
think it is jumping back and forth because one of the settings is not completely correct or something. But if I change anything, what will happen? I believe. I mean, I think y'all can still hear the
Audio.
audio. But if I change something, what happens is it starts the whole
It's
live over again, and we kick everybody off. And
mm,
so, like I said, once again, my executive producer is not here. We miss her. She is busy doing other things, and she will be back. But we are growing the team.
we are.
We are moving in a nice direction, slowly moving there, but soon it will be fast paced.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. But we wanted to jump on here today, not only tell you we're back and let you know about next week's episode. Um, uh, our daughter will be joining us in next week's episode. It may be me and her, or her and Aisha, her mom.
Yeah.
We may switch in and out. I'm not sure how we're going to do it, but we got some stuff that we want to talk about that she wants to
Get off her chest.
voice, and it's just to help parents. Oh man, this camera thing. Wish it was something I could just do, like if it was a setting I could just add on right now to stop it, but I don't know.
Can't. Yeah, I'm trying to get
Um,
finagling.
uh, and I'm trying not to take away from everything. It seems as if I don't know, y'all, but anyway, thank y'all for coming, man. Thank y'all for showing up, for those who have shown up and those that are here. And those that see this later, just want to thank y'all. I want to touch on a few things though while we have you, because I don't want this episode just to be um, us coming back and saying, we're back, prepare for the next one. I want to touch on parenthood and life in general. I've had my different experiences throughout life. And of
Hmm.
course, we mentioned we just had a loss, a couple losses in the family, and things just
Couple of them, yes.
seem to snowball. And while we're here and we're thankful for being here, I want to touch on some of my experiences as a dad, my experiences as a parent, and also as a child. So I'm kind of digging back just a little bit on my life as well. I want to give this message out to those parents that's out there and let you know you're not alone, for one. Sometimes it may feel like you're alone. Sometimes it may feel like your kids um, don't understand you and you don't understand them. But if we could just revert back to when we were uh, at a certain age and experiencing certain parts of life, we'll see that there are certain roads that we may have traveled as kids, teenagers, adults, that we tend to see those that follow us travel that road. And I want to say that those things, there we go, like this camera here, this pause here, this interruption that you're seeing right now, and hopefully you're still hearing my voice, but those things are temporary. All right. Those things are temporary. I recall going through some hardships myself. Let's see if I can wake this baby back up. I recall going through some hardships myself um throughout life, and I just felt like it was the end. Man, I felt like the walls was closing in. It was the end. I was ready to give up. I was tired. I was unsure what was next, you know? The times that I experienced it when I was prior to being a parent, I was as a just an individual out here living life, and like they say, life be life. And I felt like I had no one who understood me. I felt like um, no matter what I said, how loud I yelled it, if I held up a sign saying I need help, whatever it was, I felt I was probably either I wasn't heard or I was in my own head of beating myself up because I was lost. I fell into a hole and I didn't know how I got there. And only thing I was doing while I was in that hole was punching the walls of that hole.
Or and also sometimes when you're in that hole, you could be blaming other people.
That's one of the other things I did
Yeah.
too. I was yeah, I definitely did that. I can agree that I was, putting things on my environment, my family, my interactions with uh my dad, my mom, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I put the blame on everybody else. I did.
I
I
think
can agree.
that, even me looking back on my young adult life before parenting, um, I'm gonna speak of more so when I started parenting and didn't have a clue as to what I was doing. Instructions not included.
Exactly.
I think that I found myself in places like that. Not I want to say not often because I'm such a optimist for a lot of things.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm a planner. Back then, I was a real big planner.
Hmm.
So I remember getting into that hole and saying, the walls are crumbling in on me. And if I don't dig myself out of this hole, then I'm going to suffocate.
Mm.
And with that, I remember, Aisha, you had a plan. What
What
happened?
happened to your
What happened
plan?
to your plan?
Right.
And I started digging myself out. And it was incident by incident by incident, right? So I didn't take all of the incidents that had happened that got me into the hole and say, I'm gonna take care of all this at once because you can't do that, right? So I took
Mm.
this little thing that happened that I needed to address. It wasn't going anywhere. Like, I won't give super details, but you know, things that you can't avoid.
Mhm.
It's not going nowhere. Look at it in its face, in its eyes, and say, I'm gonna deal with you right now.
Mm.
And this is tough. So I start dealing with every single incident that I that came up that caused me to get into this hole.
Mhm.
And I started to just apply my plan and execute the plan
Piece by piece.
piece by piece.
Nothing
And
happens overnight.
wow. Was it overwhelming? Of course it was overwhelming. I cried, I prayed, I had a kid already,
Mhm.
and it was me and the kid, you know? So I just remember receiving that first letter. One of the execution things were to apply for school, and I received that letter and I got denied. I didn't get in.
Mm. And you could have gave up right then.
Right then, felt like more dirt just came. Now I dug out where I
Yeah.
could breathe.
Getting a little oxygen,
Just a
seeing
little
that
bit of oxygen.
I see the light.
And
There may be a way
then
out.
I got denied into expert school first time. I was like, what am I gonna do now?
Mm.
Guess what?
Persist. Keep going.
Stay on your plan and your path that God has given to you, that you have set for yourself, that has been clearly defined. That's yours. Stay on it.
And for me, I wasn't much of a planner. I'm the type that I was just let's just say I was just traveling, right? I was figuring life out. So I was just taking it, day by day, take it however it comes and just kind of like deal with it, right?
Right.
I was one of those that was like, I attempted to put plans together, but could never follow through because I was so busy, having things thrown at me to the point to where I was traveling. I was living life, but I hadn't at any point set a specific destination or goal that I wanted to accomplish. I just was accomplishing anything that was thrown at me.
But wait, you said you wasn't much of a planner, but I remember you talking about, and people that don't know our histories yet, we'll come back one day and give a full history. But I remember you telling me that when you were a kid, you would look at things and you would dream,
I would dream. I would
right?
definitely was a
So that
dreamer.
is all a part of your plan.
But no, 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 no.
Yeah.
See, a plan, when you have a goal and you have something that you're working towards, you begin to inch towards that goal. For me, it was more so of a mindset of a wish, a fantasy, a possibility. See, I saw the possibilities. I did see the possibilities. I knew it was possible, but I really didn't know a specific step by step or I didn't have a route to get there. I just knew what I wanted.
So you had already seen what you were going to be obtaining. Like you
I was
knew
hoping.
that you wanted it,
I knew it was
right?
possible. But
Right.
let me go into a little bit further of what Aisha's talking about. See, when I was young, I'm talking about a kid. I went through a period of seeing my parents, live life, trying to figure it out. They didn't have access to the internet or anything like that. We're talking 70s, 80s, 90s. We're talking some time ago. And there were times where we didn't always have. And what I mean by that, we didn't always have the ample amount of clothes. Me and my brother had to share clothes. My siblings had to share clothes. We didn't have food at times. Um, we didn't have all the luxuries and things that I wanted as a kid, but I had an imagination, right? I would, we'd get newspapers, all right? Way before internet, y'all. Okay. So for y'all, young parents or whatever, if you have an experience, you could talk to your parents. If you don't know much about it, and for the seasoned parents is out there, the older folks that's watching this, you may know what I'm talking about. We had newspapers, and in those newspapers were ads, and in those ads were food. And sometimes when there was no food in the house, I would look at those ads. I would look at that food and imagine having a meal. I would get those big JC Penney's books. I don't know if y'all
I
ever get
remember
those
them.
books that come in the mail. And I'd go through those books and imagine me wearing or being able to afford those clothes. I mean, I looked through that all night until I fell asleep because I had my own little wish list, and that wish list was to be able to afford anything that I wanted because I know what it was to not have. Now, I didn't have like, I mean, I played basketball, I had dreams, I did music. I had an idea of what I was good at and what I wanted, but I had no one to say this is the steps you need to take to get there. I just knew I had to work hard to do it. So when it came to basketball, because I loved it so much, when I was in Cleveland, if it was snowing outside, it didn't matter. I was still at the court. I was still perfecting my craft. But and I was pretty good, but let it be known, as you see, I didn't make it to the NBA. You know, that's a slim chance for some of us. And even though I practiced hard at it, I had other things within my life that kind of steered me, or had me sway in one direction or the other. And most of that was my environment. Most of that was the people I was around or the things I had no control of, but I allow to influence me to do the things that I was doing. Nowadays, you have people who influence you doing the things that you do, whether you know it or not. Some of it could be good things, those influencers online. Some of them could be good things, some of them could be bad. You could be sitting there watching the workout video, and that might influence you to get up, start working out, do your thing, or start a business, or something that influenced you and you say, I can do that. One of the issues with it today is it's oversaturated. So you can find yourself, even like I did back then with
Yeah.
ADHD, and I'm bouncing back and forth from, ooh, I like this one day, and then, ooh, I
Yeah.
like that the next day. And, the other thing is you could be getting the information or things that influence you in a negative aspect or a negative, you know, uh, create a negative mindset. Like you could be watching, scrolling and come across a video of somebody fighting, people fighting. It gets you the urge to that spirit, that energy, or whatever it is, get you to the point to where you know, you start having that feeling. So, but for me, back to what we were saying is I did have um uh I had an imagination as a child, as a teen, still to this day, but I had no direction. You actually had some goals. You said I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna do this and go to college and I want to try this, and you got denied, but you kept going. Eventually, you became an X-ray tech.
Mhm. Yeah. Because they weren't gonna nobody was gonna stop me.
You had that goal, and that's a great thing to have. But when I fell in the hole, y'all, when I fell in the hole, I felt alone. I felt as I failed, as it was over. I had to find reasons to climb out of that hole because if it was up to me, I could have just sat in that hole and cried myself to sleep and just let life continue to beat me up. A couple times when I fell in that hole, especially with my first business and then I went homeless, I knew I was better than what I was um, presenting to the world, to myself, to my family. I knew I could do better.
It starts with that.
It
Knowing
does.
you can.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what anybody else tell you. Even when we have new parents out here, um, yeah, they just sent you home with a bundle of joy and you don't know what the heck you're doing. But understand this, it's okay. You'll learn.
This too shall pass.
Yeah.
It's temporary. I didn't know that hole I was in was gonna be temporary. I just knew that I had some fight to climb up out of that hole. And that may have been the time that I spent in the Marine Corps that
Mhm,
put that, mindset of, um, that if you believe it, you can achieve it, you can push through anything, you never let anything get you down. You're gonna go through hard times and they put you through hard times.
mhm.
So the mindset was good, but the mindset also, in some ways, um, weren't the greatest, because you feel like they're preparing you for life and they're really only preparing you for battle. They're preparing you for the front line. So you gotta take what you can get, out of all of what you've learned throughout life and make the best of it. I fell into another hole once. We got together
Mhm.
and things were just going, it seemed like it was just a spiral going, a downhill spiral. Katrina hit. We were in Louisiana. The market crashed.
Yeah.
We had at the time two young girls and third one on the way, right? Pretty much.
Yeah. She was
What was
12, 2012.
was 2012.
Yeah, so a few years, 4 years.
Sinai was born in, ooh, that's thunder.
It's gonna rain all week.
2012. Um
Or 8 was
Katrina
in
hit.
oh 05, oh 08, oh 05. Yeah, it did. It hit in August of oh 05. We
Oh
got
five.
yeah, we got married in February of oh 05. I'm sorry. We moved into our house February of oh 05. We got married in
July.
July of oh 05. And
Y'all, we giving y'all the story for real. For
and
those
then August of oh 05 is when Katrina hit. The market crashed in oh 08.
oh 08.
Yes.
So when the
So we
market
had
crashed, we had
Sanaa in
two young,
12.
yeah, we had two young kids in oh 08 when the market crashed.
Yeah.
Already uh we had to move around a good bit after Katrina.
Yep.
You know,
Texas
in
to
Cleveland,
Cleveland, and then they allowed us to come home. Well, I was first responder, so I had to come back. Um,
man, came back. I came back to a job that I almost immediately lost. They downsized, got rid of me.
what job was that?
The
Hey,
gaming place.
okay. Thank you for not
After
saying the
after
name.
after building, after expanding and building and helping the owner um expand in different locations, writing uh
Employee handbooks. I'll never forget
handbooks
that.
and rules and all the stuff that I,
Never forget that.
learned and took on my back. It wasn't until around the holiday season where they
Mm,
said, hey, we don't need you no more. It's not that we don't need you, it's that we can't pay you what we've been
that's
paying
what
you.
it was. They couldn't pay you. That's what I remember that part.
It's like we can't pay you what we've been paying you. So it wasn't a need thing. It was a fact of I'm just a number. And at that point I fell into another hole. Man, I was so ready to give up. I was so done
So that was what,
with life.
2006, maybe?
Yeah, man. I was so done with life. I was so done with being stepped on, with going through this cycle. And it took the understanding of this too shall pass. So I'm saying that to say this to the listener and to the viewers. And, thank God that this is on, podcast as well. So some of, our listeners don't get a chance to see the, the camera going in and out, but you still hear our voice. You still hear us talking to you and giving you some of our backstory. But I want to say to y'all that if you're going through something, if you feel like you in that hole, you're not alone. Even when you maybe not being you're not in a relationship, just came out of a relationship or whatever it is that you feel like you're going through, I want you to know that you're not alone. Look, I grew up in a household that in many ways, not just in my household, but throughout my family, um, shared different belief systems as far as religions. So I'm not here talking to you about um, or preaching to you about who or what you should pray to, or I'm not against any of that. You gravitate to what's best for you. But when I say you're not alone, there is, and I can only tell you from experience, and you may have your own experience of who it is that you might confine to, pray to, whatever. But there is this higher power
Yep.
that some call God, some call Jehovah, some call the creator, some say it's Allah, some whatever. Look, I saw my family divide because of
Or really, because of
religions.
religion.
I
Yeah.
saw religion being division in my throughout my family. But I also saw um different family members who gravitate towards this higher power do some amazing things.
Yeah.
And all I can say is when I was in that hole and I thought I was alone and I began to talk and pray and accept the things that I did wrong, it wasn't until then I started to see the light and come out of that hole. It wasn't until I realized that this too shall pass, this is only temporary, allow me to not give up. And I began to think about the so many different reasons or people in my life or that I've encountered that gave me reasons to keep going. I
That's
knew it
always
wasn't over.
good. Yeah, that's always good when you can reflect back on when you can think back and or think about who you have as your support team, right? Who has
Yeah.
encouraged you.
And if you don't have anyone, keep living. You'll be surprised at the people that you've touched or the people that may rely or watch you and you have connected with that you may be their catalyst. You may be an inspiration to them. And you didn't even know it.
Right.
You know, if I would have gave up, there's so many people that to this day that have come to me that have said that it's because of you I'm still here. And man, it feels amazing. It's a little scary, but I know that my purpose, my journey is not over. I know that I gotta keep going. But when you're in that hole, it gets scary, but I want you to know you're not alone. Because whatever that higher power is, you go into a mirror when you're going through whatever it is you're going through. Go to that mirror. Go stand in that mirror and start talking. Start asking.
Mhm.
And then stop. Stop talking. Stop asking. Start watching. Start listening. Start thinking about the path that you've been down. And think about the possibilities of where you could go.
And I want to say develop some skills to help you as well. Meditation is amazing for the listening part, right?
Yes.
Because you can send out the questions, of course, you
that you
know,
have,
that you
ask those
have.
questions.
And you can send those out anytime. But
Mhm.
where we fall short is we don't listen.
Gotta get the answer.
And most of the time that happens in silence. It can happen to someone else in your circle and you can see that and that's your answer from that. So always look for the signs, right?
Look.
But the best thing I can tell you is to listen.
Mm,
And once you listen and you have heard what you are supposed to do, execute,
yes.
move forward in that path. If you know it's right for you, do it. It's not going to feel wrong. I promise. I promise you.
If it feels wrong, then that's probably something you shouldn't be doing.
Right. It's not. You're not supposed to be doing. But if it feels right to you, um, don't harm anybody. I'm saying that because these days things are a little bit different. Of course, we're not speaking of harming anybody. We only speaking about being positive, and when you're led to do something that is positive, make sure that you execute that and that you do that.
Very important.
I
Take
say
those steps.
I say don't be disobedient. That's me and my beliefs. I'm not trying to put that on anyone else, right?
Right, right, right. So, but you know, you have a strong feeling, and then you go out and you do that positive thing, and if you don't get the results that you're expecting, that is not to say you didn't accomplish something.
Right.
That is just to say that it's okay. Keep going. You
Right.
know, right now we have very yeah, look at the subscribers. We have very few subscribers.
Yeah, but it's not gonna stop us,
That's
right?
not it's about going through that to get to where this message is to reach those who need it. I don't just need a bunch of bots and subscribers and the numbers. I'm not looking at the numbers.
Right.
It's the message behind this I and I. That I and I is the I inside of I, the I in I. Okay. That's the oneness of us all, is how that logo came up. That's the vision of the instructions not included. It's beyond just the I.
Yeah. No
Okay.
race, no color,
None of
just
that.
oneness.
No,
Us all
no
together.
belief system. Everybody got their different belief systems, and that's fine. But the being, the core of us all is that we're still here. We're present right now. The being of us being humans, that being portion, that part is what we want to tap into. Because life, when you get here, trust me, when my girls came out, and I, especially the first one, I held her, cut the umbilical cord, and saw the damage she did. And I said, my legs wide open. I
All
said,
right,
"Dang,
dang.
wait a minute.
Be
No,
nice.
no, hey, this is real, y'all. This is real." And as parents, if you're
Oh yeah.
there, you're going to experience this. But I can tell you this, when the afterbirth comes out and everything comes out, and you sitting there and you stare, no instructions gonna come after that.
Yeah. And those pops out.
I was looking. I'm like, where's the rules at? Where's the rest of it? Look, it's not gonna come out. It's not. But those around you who have experienced some things and have given you the truth of things. And I want you to understand this. Not everybody that got some age on them actually has wisdom. They do. There's a lot of old fools out here. Okay. There's a lot of old people, older folks who are still traveling and or just living life, and they may have some wisdom. I'm not telling you not to listen, but you take everything with a grain of salt and you do what feels good to you. But
See,
not all information is good information. And I want you to know that. We used to think because the elders had wisdom, and that's not always the case. Now, they had some time on this earth, but what they did on this earth,
I'm
whether
kind of at a
whatever,
toss up with that,
and I
right?
get that.
I'm at a
I
toss up. Let
get
me tell
that.
you why. Let me
Tell
tell
me,
you why.
talk to me, talk to them,
Their
tell us.
wisdom may not be my wisdom for me,
Yeah, but they
their
can tell you to
wisdom,
go do something.
but their wisdom may be for someone who truly does not. Um, it may touch someone.
It can. It's possible. Like I said, take it all with a
So
grain of salt. I'm not telling you not to listen. I'm telling you to be
I
to
think there's some elderly out there that has a higher power of wisdom, right? They're connected a little bit higher. Not that they're better than anybody, but they got it.
mm,
They got
some,
it.
some. Like I
Some
said,
of
not
them.
all, not
Some of
all.
them
Because
just get
I
everything.
sat with some, and I'm not throwing any names out there in general, but I've spent some time with some that was much older. I'm talking about born in the 30s, and I had access to this particular person a lot. And the things that as I listened, the things that was brought to me, if I would have reacted or would have taken that advice, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I had to use my own discernment and say, okay, I'm going to take this
Definitely use
part
that.
of it
Yeah.
because the trauma that person may have gone through, because, living such a long time and going through whatever they have gone through doesn't always mean that they learned. Like they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
old grass, it's hard to kill. Oh, I'm sorry, bad grass is hard to kill.
all that out. Yeah, all
All
that.
those sayings, all that stuff. Look, you you can't always just think because they have some time here on this earth that that their message or what they tell you is just right for you. You have to get what you can get out of it, be able to discern what is good for you, and then you have to continue to live and be true to yourself. Because if you're lying to yourself, if you continue to lie to yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice. If you continue to say, um, if you continue to not accept your place here, your responsibility, and say that it's everybody else's fault. And like they say, when you point the finger at one, you got three pointing back at you. But if you continue to place blame and not really just get down to seeing those signs, having that conversation with yourself, you get in that hole. First thing I want you to do is ask yourself,
Why am I here?
how did I get here again? Or if it's the first time, how did I get here? Don't blame everybody on the reason why you're there. Ask yourself, how did I get here? Ask yourself, is it the people that I'm around? Is it the decisions that I've made? What is it that got me here?
And how do I get out?
Exactly.
What steps am I going to take to get out?
What's next?
How do I get here? What do I have to learn from this? And how do I get out?
That's it, y'all. That's it. So we spent some time talking about that whole. Hopefully, within this time, y'all have gotten something out of what we said. We have some age and some wisdom on us, and you can take it as a grain of salt too.
Yeah.
Take it, you know, get what you can out of this and roll with it. But when you have kids and as parents, we tend to, when you see your kids going through whatever you've gone through, right? Or you see family members going through whatever you've gone through, you can tell them how to get out of the hole. You can let them know, but it's not until they see it
Right.
themselves. It's not
We're
till they
always
can be.
here for them.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Always
Any
here.
older, younger, it doesn't matter. It could be, your elders, just like, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
But what you going through right now, have you talked to yourself on how'd you get here? Do you have any drive or any, you know, plans on trying to get out of here? Or you just gonna sit here and cry about it that you in this hole? So, to the listeners, to the viewers, you find yourself in a hole, ask yourself those questions, y'all. Okay. And I promise you, this too shall pass. All of that's temporary. If you know anything about me or what I've shared with you, I'll tell you this. I've been talked about, stepped on, cussed at, fussed at. I've been down. I've been out. I mean, down and out. I got back in the game. Look, I done been to jail. I done been homeless. I done been through foreclosure, bankruptcy. I done been through a good bit. Some of y'all been through that and a whole lot more, or maybe even less. But I will tell you, all that stuff was temporary. I've been in the hole. I've been in dark spaces. I've been on jobs that I did not like. I've been around people that I did not like, did not trust. I've been shot at.
Mm.
I've been jumped. I've been beat up. I've been bullied. Know a little bit about me? There you go. There's some. That's some. That's very little about me. This is a lot more. But I've been there. I've been on the other end. I done beat some people ass. I done bullied. I done fought some people. I've been through my circle of life. I've been through my ups and downs. Whatever it is you're going through, it's temporary. You have the ultimate choice. You can be miserable or you can get motivated. Whatever you choose to do, the choice is up to you. So you make that choice. Anything else for the listeners? That's not my words. That's Wayne Dyer's. So if you check out his books, check out his book. But that's a quote. But I want you to know that that's real life. You can choose that. You can choose that. You can choose what you listen to. You can choose what you put into your environment, into your mind. You can listen to heavy metal, hate music all day. Whatever you choose, rap music, whatever you want to, you can listen to any message you choose to listen to. Or you can choose to listen to something different. It's your choice. Just know that it affects you. So choose wisely. Anything else you got for the listeners today, baby? I mean, we here, we talking, we back, y'all. We back, we back. And we got some more episodes for y'all. But we back. Anything else you want to give to our listeners?
Mm-mm. Know that you're not alone in this. Yeah. Instructions not included.
Instructions not included. Yo, we love y'all and know that that's not just something we say, that's something we mean.
Yes.
And we hope that this was definitely helpful to the listeners. We definitely appreciate y'all going through this journey with us. So keep living.
Peace.